Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
Hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Blood.
What up, everybody? Top of the morning to you. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Glad to have you with us on the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. If this is your first time checking us out, jump in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from so we can get you a shout out. I want to give a big up to all of our friends, family, supporters, underwriters, sponsors. You too can come on board as a sponsor or an underwriter by visiting us at tuconservative.com. You can also get yourself a membership there. It's only $10 for the year. That helps us keep doing what we do here at the Urban Conservative, which is spreading conservatism to urban communities across the country. Folks, this morning, TUC mug, handy dandy TUC mug. You can jump on over to our website, grab yourself a mug or grab yourself a t-shirt, grab yourself something, help us keep this thing going. We are growing, and it's all due to folks like you who watch the show, share the content. So head on over to YouTube, hit us with a thumbs up, hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe. I got to give a big up to all of our friends and family over at the Millennium 24 Network. Shouts out to Noor and Stuart and the whole crew. And enough with the salutations there, because we've got a couple of things. And y'all are, I know you're wondering, like, yo, dude, why are you smiling? Okay, let me explain this to you. I come from a generation, right? I'm cut from the cloth of people where we did a couple of things when we were growing up, right? Like, men were men, boys were boys, women were women, girls were girls, rappers were masculine, okay? I'm not saying it was the best generation. I'm just saying our rappers were masculine by and large. And my brother and I have talked about this on the Urban Conservative Podcast, which you can check out every Monday night. By and large, rappers were, different, cut from a different cloth than a lot of these dudes these days. Okay. There wasn't a whole lot of, let's just call it suspect shenanigans going on back in them days. Well, that is gone. Okay, those days of masculine rappers, really being out there, being a part of the game, it's a little different these days. And the first thing we want to talk about this morning is this dude, Young Thug. First of all, homeboy, I don't even know what he did. He just showed up in a dress on an album cover, part of this whole emasculation, effeminization of the male thing that he's feeding into. But if you're one of our conservative friends who isn't really up on the hip-hop world and don't know what's going on, Young Thug and his crew, YSL, and you go a duel. What does YSL stand for? Get this. It stands for Young Slime Life. That's what it stands for. Young Slime Life. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, born August 16, 1991. 12. I was 13 when this dude was born. Oh my goodness. Wow. Also known professionally as Young Thug, is a rapper, singer, and songwriter. He's considered to be an influential person in this generation, with his music impacting the modern sound of hip-hop. He received mainstream recognition in 2014 with his single Stoner and Danny Glover. And he was on some music with T.I. and some other folks. So there, you know now a little bit about who Young Thug is. So, Young Thug's crew, YSL, is gang-related, supposedly affiliated with this gang, that gang. But these people are terrorizing Atlanta. And when I say terrorizing, I mean selling drugs, killing people, extorting people, all kinds of nefarious activity. Young Thug and his crew get hit with the Rico la. Hit with the Rico charge. I guess they hit him with a Rico. So they hit him with a Rico. He's in court, multiple hearings, and then this happens, I think, yesterday. Okay? Now, what you are about to see, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, you won't see this. But this is by far one of the dumbest things that I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, folks? It is preposterous. It is brazen. It is pick your adjective for stupid. Okay? Pick your adjective for dumb, because that's what this is. So he's in court. Okay? Apparently this dude is still suffering from addiction. Can't get what he wants in the jail. Figures, I'll have my homeboy give it to me. And what, might you ask, is the homeboy giving to him? Let's check this out. Look at this. So this genius, in front of the entire court, walks up to the dude, and under the guise of a handshake, what's up, homeboy? Bow. Now, here's the problem with that. Right around there, guys, is a sheriff. Right there's a sheriff right in that area. He attempts to hand him a Percocet, ladies and gentlemen, a Percocet. Hold on. Let's get this right. He tries to hand his homeboy a Percocet while he is in front of all of these people in the courthouse. This is by far one of the dumbest things that I have ever seen. There you go again. Look at it. Hands off the Percocet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have been privy to some pretty stupid things in my lifetime. I've seen some pretty brazen things in my lifetime, but that, sir, earns you the Donkey of the Week award. You, sir, are the Donkey of the Week for that stupidity right there. I can't even... Okay, help me understand. Somebody in the comments, okay? Help me understand why he thought he would get away with that. How brazen, how dumb do you think people are for you to think that you got away with that? That you were going to get away with that? It wasn't even a good handoff. As far as drug deals go, I've seen way better drug deals than that. Y'all supposed to be hood dudes, like, gangsters in the hood, and you could have did better than that. Give your man a hug, dap him up, do something. That was just too brazen. Wait till the sheriff ain't looking before you hand your man the Percocet. What in God's green earth is happening these days? Now, I'm just going to tell you something on the tail end of this story. Here's the one thing. I'm not with the whole free Young Thug, free this one, free that one, because you're talking about freeing them to go back and be menaces to the very communities that they will tell you are oppressed by the police, oppressed by the government, held down by the white man. But these folks, they weren't out there robbing, shooting, killing, and stealing from white folks, Asian people. They were doing it to themselves and to the people in their community. So good riddance, and I hope they throw they butts under the jail. You're checking out Top of the Morning. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back to talk about Donald Trump. Don't go nowhere. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Blood.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Next story we're going to talk about is very interesting, folks. Very interesting. Two things I want to point out. If your freckles are as close together as mine, I want you to pay very close attention. If you're watching, share this with a friend that you know whose freckles are this close together, because they're going to want to know about this. I know a lot of us voted, and when I say us, I don't mean black conservatives. I mean black people in urban areas, the Charlottes, the Durhams, the Raleighs, the New Yorks, the LAs, the Chicagos, the Detroits, the Atlantas. I know a lot of y'all voted for Joe Biden. I don't know why you voted for Joe Biden. I do. But here's the thing. You notice Joe Biden did not have a plan, a clear, concise plan to protect and defend the economy, what he was going to do for African-American entrepreneurialism or for economics for black folks or air finger quote disenfranchised people. No kind of plan at all, as opposed to Donald Trump. Now look, I was in Atlanta for the unveiling of Trump's platinum plan for economic prosperity for African Americans. Okay, I was there. There was a plan, a bona fide way to ensure that the progress we saw would continue. And now Trump does it again, because Biden and them, taking a $50,000 rents and such. We ain't even going to mention that because I don't want the Fibby showing up at my crib. But Trump now has a plan to defend our economy against China. And we're going to take a listen to it right now. Check this out.
China is buying up our country while corrupt Democrats.
Hold on. That's true. That's true. Smithfield, who owns a lot of the farmland, I'm just saying.
And rhino-type politicians in Washington have been spending trillions of dollars on the Green New Deal nonsense.
True.
Foolish foreign wars and providing lavish benefits to illegal aliens from all over the planet. China has been spending trillions of dollars to take over the crown jewels of the United States economy. And they are doing that. China is buying up our technology.
That's true.
They're buying up food supplies.
That's true.
They're buying up our farmland.
I just said that. It's true.
They're buying up our minerals and natural resources.
That's true.
They're buying up our ports and shipping terminals, and with the help of a corrupt influence peddlers like the Biden crime family, China is even trying to buy up the pillars of the U.S. energy industry because, frankly, Biden and the group don't care about real energy. They only care about nonsense energy, energy that doesn't work.
That's true.
And it never will. While some are focused on China's purchases near power plants and military bases, the fact is we should be very concerned about all Chinese communist activity in the United States. As I have long said, economic security is national security. China does not allow American companies to take over their critical infrastructure, and America should not allow China to take over our critical infrastructure. I didn't allow it when I was president, and I won't allow it when we become president again. To protect our country, we need to enact aggressive new restrictions on Chinese ownership of any vital infrastructure in the United States, including energy, technology, telecommunications, farmland, natural resources, medical supplies, and other strategic national assets.
Whoa, I got to tell you right now, whoa, he's on it. He's on it.
We should stop all future Chinese purchases in these essential industries, and we should begin the process of forcing the Chinese to sell any current holdings that put our national security at risk. If we don't do this, the United States will be owned by China, which would make them very happy. When I'm president, I will ensure that America's future remains firmly in American hands, just as I did when I was president before. It'll happen again, and our country will be stronger than ever. Thank you.
All right, folks. So hold on. Whoa. I can tell you right now, Xi Jinping and the communists are shaking in their boots. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that man doesn't get back in the White House, folks. They're going to do everything they can. I'm excited now because he is absolutely correct. I know people right now that won't buy Smithfield because it's owned by China. They own all of our farmland. I mean, how do we expect as a country to be independent if another country who's not our friend, let's not pretend, I'm not talking about the Chinese people. I'm not talking about the rank and file normie Chinese guy or lady. I'm talking about the Communist Party in China is not our friend. So why would we allow them to buy up our telecommunications, our agriculture, our technology? Why would we do that? It makes zero sense unless like Mr. Trump said, like former President Trump said, soon to be president again, Trump said, you're in it for your own pockets. That is the most aggressive, correct measures we can take is to ban future purchases in these key and critical areas of America, of American economy. Now, look, I know for a fact, okay, when you go in Dollar General, because a lot of us go to Dollar General, and we go to Dollar General because it seems like, I mean, if you spit, you're going to hit a Dollar General. You go to Family Dollar, you go to these stores, the goods are cheap, they're crap, but they're cheap, and they're all made in China. So we're financing this. We as the American citizens are financing this. We need to start buying American made. Let's stop financing China, who's working against us. And while Trump is talking about stopping China from invading the American economy any further than it already has, God knows how much debt American debt that China holds, you also have to look at what China is doing in Africa. China is lending these African nations money at a rate they know they'll never be able to pay back, and then taking over these countries strategically, militarily. There are places in Africa where Africans can't go because it's Chinese only. Where they do that at? And then you have these African leaders, air finger quote, who are so hungry for their own money, their own power, that'll take the money. I agree 1 gajillion billion % with what President Trump is talking about in keeping China out of our communications, our medical technology, our farmland, our agriculture, our military. Keep them out. Don't let them buy any more of it. Let them sell, make them sell what they already own. It is absolutely unconscionable that China would own that much. How do we get to the point where we have to go to our enemies for our own medicine? How does that work? We need to start reproducing that medicine here. We got to go to China. We got to go to, think about this. Our energy under Trump, we were energy independent. We were a net exporter of energy. Now we got to go beg Venezuela. We got to go beg the Saudis. We got to go beg around the world. I'm glad we're barring the sale of any more fuel from our strategic oil reserves to other countries. I'm glad we did that at least. But this goes to show you the corrupt, like he called it, the Biden crime family. Now, look, folks, on what planet do you pay $50,000 rent to your dad for a place you ain't never? And we know, because we can see that $50,000 pop up in certain places on these financial statements and disclosing statements. So President Trump is 10 million % correct. He's on it. He's right on the money. I agree wholeheartedly with his plan as if he gets back in the White House to do exactly what he said. And we know he's going to do what he said he's going to do because he did it the first time. Now, I got to tell you, folks, it is a scary proposition to think about what will happen to our country if we can't produce our own medicine, if somebody else owns the farmland and owns the means of production for food, if somebody else has a grip on our medical and communications technology. It is an absolutely good move for national security, what happened here in North Carolina and what the federal government is doing to ban TikTok on government devices because it's a CCP company. Now, I, like you, may so often, every once in a while, get drugged down the rabbit hole that is TikTok, not too often. But the fact of the matter is, these things are a security risk to our country. President Trump is right on target. We support that whole idea of what he's talking about with China. Y'all don't go nowhere. We got one more thing to cover this morning here on Top of the Morning. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't go nowhere.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
I'm trying to keep from staying low. No key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back to Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate you. Jump on over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. I got a super dope announcement. Monday, the 30th, 8 p.m. on the Urban Conservative, Congressman Nick LaLota is going to be joining us. We are beyond excited to welcome Congressman LaLota. He was candidate LaLota before. Now he is Congressman LaLota. We are looking forward to having him with us on Monday, January 30th, 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative podcast with me and my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto. Shouts out to Nick LaLota. Shouts out to Anthony Palumbo. Shouts out to Lee Zeldin. Shouts out to the whole New York GOP, Southampton Town GOP, Suffolk GOP, the whole crew. But make sure you are with us January 30th, 8 p.m. Congressman Nick LaLota live on the Urban Conservative. Is going to be a good one, folks. You do not want to miss that episode. So shouts out to him. Looking forward to having him back on the show. Real quick. So a lot of y'all know around here, we support Mark Robinson. I've had an opportunity to not only meet with Mark and put him at events and coordinate with his team. Shouts out to Krishana Polite and everybody over there at the LG's office, okay? Now, y'all know we have an attorney general here in North Carolina. If you're watching from outside of North Carolina, you may not know this, but we have what I would consider to be one of the most crooked attorney generals. Collusive settlements might ring a bell, but we have one of the most crooked attorney generals in the country. And one of the things is he's already announced his intention to run for governor. Meanwhile, Mark Robinson technically has not announced he's running for governor. So what does Josh Stein do? Now, before I go to what does Josh Stein do, I want to share something with you all. Governor Roy Cooper has yet to acknowledge the fact that North Carolina has its first Black lieutenant governor. Seems a bit racist, though, for somebody who cares so much about the Black Lives Matter and the disenfranchised blacks and the blacks are too dumb to get to the DMV to get an ID. It seems pretty odd to me that they haven't yet to acknowledge Mark Robinson, okay? But check this out. Josh Stein has already announced that he's running for governor, and I want to break this down real quick because this is absolutely atrocious. Y'all check this ad out.
It was a couple of hours before dawn, a cold February morning in 1971 in Charlotte's West End. Julius Chambers, James Ferguson, and my dad, Adam Stein, were leading the legal battle against discrimination and for equality. When they're off.
Oh my God. He went with the race thing right off the bat. Oh, right off the bat.
Firebombed and burned to the ground.
By Democrats, most likely.
I'm Attorney General Josh Stein, and I learned early on that some things are worth fighting for, no matter the opposition.
You little, I'm going to do the necessary hand motions face.
Today, there's a different set of bomb throwers who threaten our freedoms and our future.
Oh, he did the January. Oh, he's going for the gusto.
While some politicians spark division, ignite hate, and fan the flames of bigotry.
All right, y'all see what I'm saying? He attacks Mark Robinson and then immediately goes to the picture of the black female.
Mark Robinson suggested that God calls men, not women, to leadership positions.
Called to be led by men. When it was time to face down Goliath, sent David, not Devita.
What's the lie in that? That is a fact.
David. Homosexuality, any of that filth. And yes, I call it filth. Abortion is a scourge that needs to be run out of this land.
Agreed.
Robinson wants to tell you who you can marry.
Look, he went with the extra. We got to target the black. We don't need the blacks.
When you'll be pregnant, and who you should hate. I'm running for governor because
Yo, these hand motions, you little proper hand motion face.
I believe in a very different North Carolina, one rooted in our shared values of freedom, justice, and opportunity for everyone. And I believe the fights we choose show who we are and determine what kind of state we'll become.
After law school, Josh chose to work in underserved communities.
How much you want to bet Margaret Brunson out of Durham is a Democrat?
Bringing investment to small businesses and neighborhoods.
Black barbershop.
Behind.
Josh took on corporate greed, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars, cracking down on Medicaid fraud by healthcare providers.
As Attorney General, Josh Stein tackled the rape kit backlog, bringing justice to survivors and putting rapists behind bars.
Okay.
In the opioid fight, Josh stood up for families like mine and never backed down.
They told her to do that hand motion.
He's accountable for the lives they wrecked, and he's attacking the fentanyl crisis.
My faith teaches me that we're all children of God and that we're called to make a difference. This is our moment to protect our freedoms and democracy, provide every child a great education, and expand economic opportunity to every.
Don't get too close to me, black lady.
Because if you work hard, where you come from should never limit how far you can go. We'll build a better and brighter North Carolina by standing up for what's right, fighting to fix what's wrong, and doing right by every single North Carolinian, no matter who you are. That's the North Carolina you and I believe in, are fighting for, and can build together. But it's up to.
All right, I ain't even giving him the whole thing. I can't even give him the whole thing. Listen to this. All right, here's the fact of the matter, folks. As Mark Robinson would say, here it is, folks. This is nothing more than a blatant attempt at race baiting. Race baiting at its finest. Race bait 101, okay? Mark Robinson hasn't even announced yet, and this dude is out here doing this whole race baiting thing. He started out with the race baiting thing, and he's gone with it. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Stein and Democrat Party of North Carolina. We're going to be doing everything we can to make sure folks know what y'all real agenda is to keep folks uninformed, to keep folks voting Democrat, and to keep pursuing this agenda that keeps folks in this oppressive mind state, that they're oppressed and they're somehow too stupid to get to the DMV. So you can attack Mark all you want. Just know that when it happens, if and when Mark Robinson announces he's running for governor, we're going to bring everything we can to fight against you, because you're not representing the values of North Carolina. You can fear monger and hate monger all you want. You didn't play anything that Mark Robinson said that was wrong. If you talk about your faith tells you something, then you know it was true. God did send David after Goliath. He did not send a woman. God didn't send a woman to redeem us from our sins. He sent Jesus the Christ in a male figure. So you can play both sides of the fence. People ain't stupid no more. So again, ladies and gentlemen, You've been checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali, here at Top of the Morning. Make sure you're here with us Monday morning, live 8 a.m., and then Monday, 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Join us January the 30th. Congressman Nick LaLota is going to be joining us. I hope you folks have a great, safe, and blessed weekend. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Give us a like, share, subscribe. Do that. We'll see you Monday.
This season of the